When I taught school, we said a prayer, pledged allegiance, and taught the basics. Today, the left teaches kids to hate America. But not here. Biden's critical race theory, racist, wrong, and dead as a doornail. Transgender sports, toast. They can try that in California. America's the greatest country in the world. Joe Biden may not get that. But here in Alabama, we always will.
With all the anti-LGBTQ+ and anti-abortion laws being implemented, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, and Kentucky raced to the bottom of the barrel, only to find out Alabama was already there. This is Rebel HQ. I'm Sandee Lovas. Alabama. Okay, so Alabama was in the news recently when their Governor Kay Ivey signed into law their version of Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. But they felt Florida's bill didn't go far enough. While Florida prohibits classroom instruction or discussion on sexual orientation or gender identity from kindergarten to 3rd grade, Alabama extended it to 5th grade. And this is Kay at an elementary school celebrating Read Across America Day. I get the feeling the wonderful teacher standing beside her will have to change his outfit next year when encouraging kids to read the few books remaining in classrooms. This is already horrible, but Alabama made it so much worse by specifically targeting trans youth. Their bill requires K-12 students to use the bathrooms designated for their biological sex, and it has made it a Class C felony for medical professionals to provide gender-affirming care. Medical professionals doing their job by providing or continuing gender-affirming care could face up to 10 years in prison, which means children already receiving this care will be forcibly detransitioned. This is unconscionable. I can't stress enough how traumatic this will be for the children who will go through this. Most people can't imagine what it would be like, but maybe you can imagine what it would be like to be a parent watching your child be stripped of who they are, falling into a well of depression while being prevented from helping them. This bill will destroy lives. Kay's response to questions about this: there are very real challenges facing our young people, especially with today's societal pressures and modern culture. I believe very strongly that if the good Lord made you a boy, you are a boy. And if he made you a girl, you are a girl. Hey, Kay, quit forcing your God agenda on us. Unlike being LGBTQ+, your religion is a choice. How you choose to interpret it is a choice. How you choose to worship is a choice. And how you choose to force others to live by your religious decrees is a choice. Funny how people like you call this something else when fear-mongering about Muslims. Some of you may be saying, well, at least there's nothing about trans youth sports in this bill. And that's because Kay already signed it into law in April of last year. On to something which seems to have slipped under the radar. Alabama bill forcing women to show negative pregnancy tests for medical marijuana clears hurdle. So far, this bill has been approved by an Alabama state committee, so I suppose there's a chance it won't go through. Yeah, I don't believe it either. The bill stipulates that doctors may not recommend medical cannabis to female patients between the ages of 13 through 50 without first obtaining a negative pregnancy test, even if they deem cannabis to be the best treatment for their patient. There is no evidence marijuana affects the fetus. In fact, it helps many people with morning sickness and other side effects of being pregnant. The implications of this law are enormous. Why stop there? Why not have people show a negative pregnancy test before being allowed to buy alcohol, cigarettes, or anything else? This is in essence a way to monitor if people are pregnant. What happens if they test positive before receiving a prescription, but later they show a negative test and there's no baby? Right now, you can't sue the person having the abortion in Alabama, but I'm sure that's coming soon. Speaking of which, in my video about the horrendous abortion laws passed in Tennessee, I made a hyperbolic statement to get a point across, something so outrageous it would be hard to believe it could happen. I said, what's next? The ability of the fetus to sue the parents? So, about that, an aborted fetus in Alabama just got the right to sue the abortion clinic. This was back in 2019. After 2 years, a man upset his ex-girlfriend got an abortion, decided to sue the clinic where she had it done. He petitioned the probate court to allow him to represent the estate of his ex-girlfriend's aborted fetus, and it was granted. It gets worse. An amendment was added to Alabama's personhood law, which effectively makes a childbearer and their fertilized egg or fetus equal in the eyes of state law. And if Roe v. Wade is overturned, Alabama's will have no legal right to an abortion. Kay doesn't believe in election outcomes if she doesn't like the results, and she feels people don't have a right to personal autonomy and free speech. I don't understand how someone like Kay can say she's a proud American, while someone in a different state who believes in a right to choose, is allied with, or is LGBTQ+, can also say they're a proud American. You're not living in the same country. The United States of America doesn't seem to be all that united. I'm going to try to be hyperbolic here, but how long before you need a state passport to travel to different states? How long before citizens of one state won't be able to leave without state approval? How long before walls go up on state lines? California would end up with refugees from Alabama. I mean, this is just too outrageous to happen. Like, it isn't already happening, right? For more of my stuff, look for me on social media as Left of the Box. Don't forget to hit buttons and leave comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, get informed, get involved.